It's time for a short video explaining another video that I made comparing Samson to Jesus. Samson versus Jesus. Jesus is the way that we're called to walk. We're called to never give in to sin. When we make a mistake, obviously we're human. We use that grace and the blood of God, the blood of Jesus, to get right back to that status. Samson's a hero that we all grew up hearing about. He's in the Bible. I mean, he's doing better than us, right? He was written of in the Bible. But the story of him should highlight some things to us. He didn't obey once, twice, 3 times, and right in his face, the woman that he said he loved betrayed him for money. He should have seen it coming with the first time, second time, and third. He continued in that sin. He disobeyed in a bunch of different ways. If you read the story, he wasn't supposed to touch dead bodies. He wrote the poem about a lion's carcass, I believe. Now we have Jesus, who didn't sin at all. He refused to sin. He rejected all sin that was in front of him. He kept on obeying God. He asked for guidance, and God said, "This is my son with whom I'm well pleased." Now Samson, at the end of it, he ends up dying a good man. Now, when you're looking at these certain things, maybe if you're an employer and you have 2 employees, we have a higher calling to love our employees, right? But there's one who does just as you said. And in the Old Testament, that's a phrase that's in there a little bit more than in the New Testament. Certain people obey, and certain people obey just as God said, or just the way God had asked. And those people please God a little bit more. Ladies, maybe you can compare, okay, so for an employer, we have those employees who do exactly what you said and got it done exactly the way you wanted it done. And that makes a little bit of a difference. Then you have another guy who, he's a good employee. Ladies, this phrase is also thrown around. You want to date a certain guy for whatever reason. Maybe God has your eye on you having an eye on that person. And we say, you know, what about this other guy who likes you? He's a good guy. And you see how Samson died a good man. I'd like to go out as a good man, but I'd really am called to go out like Jesus. Now, in the meanwhile of being a good man and all that, things are okay. But if I obey Jesus 100%, nobody that's under me will have to suffer my bad decisions. A bunch of people died from Samson's decisions. And then he begged God to say, let me go out one more time in a positive light. And he was kind of like kamikazed out of there. He died and he killed a bunch of Philistines, but he ended up hung, blind and tied up. So listen to Jesus. Be a Jesus who completed all the mission.